Hi friends, so today we are going to see the three important theories, one of the three important theories that is essential or that is need to know in the management. Okay, so the first type of theory is the motivational theory, second theory is the communication theory, and the third theory is the leadership theory. So when we talk about the leadership theory, it is nothing but how the work has to be completed by involving leader and or by involving head and the employees. Okay, so leadership is nothing but the someone who is taking the initiative and accomplishing the mission of the organization. So in this topic we are going to see some of the important qualities that each and every leader must possess. So it is known that each and everyone who is working in a company cannot become a leader unless or otherwise the leader is someone who is taking initiative and completing the task given by the organization. Okay, so some of the early leadership theories are what we are going to discuss. So the first theory is trait theory, and the second theory is the behavioral theory. Okay, so this leadership theory is nothing but the leader who is having the eligibility of interaction with the group members. So we are going to see this trait theory, what is the meaning of trait theory and what is the behavioral theory. So the first one is trait theory. So what does this trait theory says? The trait theory says it is nothing but it is a kind of a research that is focused on identifying the personal characteristics. So identifying the individuality. Okay, so identifying the each and every individual characters. Okay, so that is what the trait theory is all about. Okay, so after this study what it says is there is a lot of difference that they have found for each and every employees that they are working in an organization. So some are successful as leaders and some are non-leaders. Okay, so the later research on this leadership process identified that there are 7 traits. 7 traits are nothing but the 7 qualities are associated with the successful leadership. So here I am going to list about the 7 qualities that each and every leaders must possess. So first one is driving, second one is desire to lead, the next one is honesty and integrity, and the next one is self confidence, next is intelligent, job relevant knowledge, and the last one is extraversion. So here I'm going to discuss about how these 7 qualities are essential or how these 7 qualities are needed for that particular leader to be successful. So the first one is the drive. So if you see in this picture, here we have the mission statement. Okay, so any organization we have or any organization we go, we are having this vision and a mission statement. So this vision and a mission statement is framed just because to achieve, it is framed just because to achieve this. So in order to achieve this, it is not necessary only that these customers alone, or sorry, only these employees alone are needed to work. It is the duty of each and every individual who is working in the organization, right from top level management to the bottom level management, should work together. The purpose of a leader is he is someone who takes initiative and he leads how this work has to be done in order to accomplish the mission. So the first one is drive, second one is desire to lead. Desire to lead is nothing but who is having the great zeal to complete the process. Okay, so who is having the great zeal to complete the process. So as a quote says that great leaders start off as a great followers. If we have someone as a role model, we will try to accomplish his paths, we will try to accomplish his path to achieve something in our life. The same way, if you are coming to a management, if we set a standard, okay, if we set a standard to follow any one particular role model, then automatically we will be having that particular desire to take initiative and lead the work and finish the work with the employees. Next one is the honesty and integrity. So what is the meaning of honesty and integrity? Is nothing but being true to the work. Okay, being true to the work rather than giving some reasons and escaping. Being true to the work is called as your honesty and integrity. Okay, so how much true we are to the work, automatically the work will be accomplished so soon. Okay, so if there will be no deviation in completing the work. Okay, so honesty and integrity is nothing but this um, honesty and integrity is nothing but being true to the work. Okay, and the next one is self confidence. As you all know that one, unless or otherwise, if we are self confident, if we are not self confident, then we won't be having enough of knowledge or enough of courage to finish off the work. So this is one of the major important quality of a leader, to be self confident, to have a confidence in himself that he is the one person who can have the eligibility to finish off the work with the team members he has. Then the second one is intelligent. Rather than following the normal work procedure, how this particular work has to be completed by using different approaches. So in order to if I need to go for the alternative, I need to have the intelligence. So I need to have the intelligence, I need to create something, I need to create a new workflow, I need to innovate some new workflow. So in order to have a proper creativity and innovation, I need to be intelligent to complete this job. Okay, then job relevant skills. So this picture, if you see, it is clearly states that this blue color, he is the leader. So this leader has to know each and every work. This leader has to know each and every work. This leader should not be confined to only one work. This leader, in case of any absence happens, so this leader has to be in a position to work in each and every situation and also each and every nature of work. Okay, so he must be well skilled. And the last one is extroversion. So extroversion is nothing but talking to the teammates or treating each and everyone equally. Okay, so if we treat each and everyone equally, automatically the passage of information that from the customer and from the employee will be reaching to this leader, and this leader will be taking into consideration, and he will work for accomplishing or work for taking the task and completing whatever this employee says. So this is about the trait theories. Coming back to the behavioral theories. So behavioral theories is nothing but how this leader is going to behave in an organization, how this leader is going to take control, or how this leader is going to manage the work in an organization and also to the employees. So the here the University of Iowa and Ohio State University, these are the universities have framed how this what are the styles of leaderships are available. So the first one is a democratic style of leadership. So what is the meaning of democratic style of leadership? Democratic style of leadership is nothing but involving each and everyone, involving the subordinates. Subordinates are nothing but the middle level management people, delegating the authority and encouraging the participation. So democratic style is nothing but, it is not that only one is going to be working, it is the teamwork. Okay, it is the teamwork. So that is your democratic style. And coming back to the autocratic style. So autocratic style is nothing but dictating the work. So what is the purpose of dictionary? So the dictionary, the purpose of using this dictionary is, we will be having the words and we will take the meaning out of it. Okay, so the same thing is going to be followed for autocratic style. So autocratic style is nothing but the person or the leader who is in charge for the work has will be having enough of knowledge of how to start the work and end the work, and he will be in a position sitting and giving the jobs to each and every one of the employees. Okay, so this is in this case the participation will be limited. Okay, and the last one is laissez-faire style. So laissez-faire style is nothing but giving freedom to each and every group to make decision for completing the work. Okay, so this is also a different approach towards completing a work in a team. Okay, so finally what they have concluded is the democratic style of leadership is the most effective leadership, because only this democratic style of leadership involves the top level management to the low level management people. Okay, so the next one is the Ohio State University have given the consideration style of leadership. So this consideration style of leadership is nothing but being considerate of followers' ideas and feelings. Okay, so being considerate of followers' ideas and feelings, it is nothing but we will be framing, or we have benchmarked an institution, or we have benchmarked an organization, and we will take ideas from them, and we will implement the same ideas in our organization, and we will work towards that particular idea. That is your consideration. The next one is initiating structure. Initiating structure is nothing but structuring the work. Okay, so the work process, the framing of work is nothing but your initiating structure, from the start to end, the flow chart. Okay, that is your initiating the structure. Okay, next one, University of Michigan and managerial grid. So this University of Michigan and managerial grid have given the employee oriented and production oriented, the work oriented and also the workmen oriented. Okay, work oriented leadership and the workmen oriented leadership. So this employee oriented or workmen oriented relationship or leadership, it emphasizes on the interpersonal relationship and taking care of the employee needs. Okay, for example, you are having union. Okay, in some companies we will be having union. That union is responsible for the taking care of the employees. Okay, so whatever the offers that the employee has to get, everything will be taken care of. Okay, so that kind of leadership is employee oriented leadership, and the production oriented leadership is based only on the job. Okay, based only on the job. So what is they've concluded is the employee oriented relationship is something which has the higher job satisfaction. Only if we make the employees feel good, only if we make the employees feel good in our organization, then it is important, or then it is essential for each and every organization to work in a better way. Then the last one is concern for people and concern of production is also the same. Okay, so the concern of people is nothing but it is the leader's concern measured in terms of the people, whereas for the production it is measured in terms of the job production. Okay, so this is about the managerial grid. So here we have discussed a graph regarding this behavioral theories. Okay, so in this behavioral theories, there are five different kinds of management style of leadership are there. On the x-axis, I have concern for production, and one is low and 9 is high. On the y-axis, I have concern for people. Okay, low and high. So if I go for the country club management, there I will have low concern for people and high high concern for people. Okay, if I go for country club management, I will be having the high concern for people. Okay, and whereas if I go for the improvised management, I will have both the low the low concern for people and also the low concern for production. And the task management, so when we go for the task management, the concern for people will be low and the concern for production will be high. And the last one is what, the fourth one is what, team management. So obviously the purpose of making team is to work faster. So the concern for people also will be more, and also the concern for production also will be more. And the last one is middle of the road management. So middle of the road management is something that has moderate concern for people and also the moderate concern for the production. So here the concern towards people and production will be moderate. Okay, or it will be treated equally. And the last one is contingency leadership theory. So what is this contingency leadership theory? Is matching this leader's style and situation, how well how in different kinds of situation how the leaders are going to be matched. Okay, so here this Fiedler is the one who proposed this theory, and here this particular contingency theory is based on a questionnaire session. So they will be giving a sheet, and this particular employee or this particular uh, workman, he will be evaluating this leader how well he is there completing the job. Okay, so on this form they will be giving 18 constraints. Okay, so they will be giving 18 constraints, and uh, and it is given into two divisions. So relationship oriented is how well he is managing the work with the employees, and the last one is task oriented, how he is going to um, work for the task. Okay, so in the relationship oriented, if he or she, he has to score 64 or above. Okay, and task oriented, he or she has to score 57 or less. So in case if they score more or less, they have to change their style based on situation. They have to change their style based on situation. Okay, so these are some of the 18 points. Okay, so here they will be marking, and the relationship style and also the task style. So in case if they get more than what is expected, or in case if they get less than what is expected, then they have to change the style of leadership. Okay, so this is how this Fiedler model will be. And this one is Hershey's Blanchard situational leadership theory. So situational leadership theory is nothing but the acceptance and the readiness. Okay, so the acceptance and readiness quality of a leadership. So the leadership effectiveness depends on whether the followers accept or reject as a leader. Acceptance, the workman who is going to work in an organization has to accept that this particular employee has the eligibility to take up the initiative and lead us into work. This is what is needed for all the employees. Second one, readiness. Readiness is nothing but the extent to which followers have the ability and willingness to accomplish the specific job. So acceptance is for leader, and the readiness is for the job. Okay, and the leadership styles. So based on Hershey's theory, the leadership style: telling, selling, participating, and delegating. Okay, so telling, selling, participating, and delegating. The stages are R1 unable and unwilling, R2 unable but willing, R3 followers are able but unwilling, R4 they are able and willing. We have to be in a position of this fourth R. Okay, fourth R. Then the next one is path goal theory. Path goal theory is nothing but this is the most respected approach. It is proposed by Robert House. Okay, in this path goal theory, this leadership, the leader's job is to assist the followers and guide a pathway for them. It is nothing but framing the work culture, or this is how the work has to be started and this is how the work has to be completed. Framing the pathway, how easily that work has to be completed, that is called your path goal theory. Okay, so in that there are four: the directive, supportive, participative, and achievement oriented. Directive is nothing but he is someone who gives guidance. Supportive is nothing but even if the employee is not up to the mark, he must show concern towards accomplish the job. Participative leader is nothing but he must consult with each and everyone. He will consult with each and everyone to finish the job. And achievement oriented by setting goals and standards. Okay, and this is the path goal theory. So the leader behavior, subordinate behavior, outcome, and the environmental contingency. Okay, so this is based on the situation. Okay, so based on situation, in case if the employee have high role ambiguity and low ability, we have to be directive style. We must make them into a group and work. Okay, supportive style, when I need supportive style of leadership, when the task is boring and repetitive, or when the tasks are feeling stressful. Okay, that time I need to have a concern for them and I go for supportive. Participative, again participative is nothing but I need to consult with the employees. And achievement oriented means when the employees have high ability and when the employees have high achievement motivation, I will go for achievement oriented style of